What's up, everybody? What's up? This is the Talkers Podcast, Unscripted. My name is Joe, and I got my co-host right here with me is the Gooch. How's everybody doing? And we have a wonderful special guest that just joined in our podcast. His name is Paul Lamar Hunter. What's going on, Paul?
Hey, I am excited to be on your show. So we are going to have fun because I have a beautiful story to tell your listeners and viewers as well.
But we're glad to have you, and I'm glad you're. One thing I wanted to ask you is that how did you hear us? How did you hear from us and all that stuff? That's what I'm trying to get at.
Well, what happened is that I was on Instagram, and so I saw some of you guys' skits on Instagram, and also I went to YouTube as well and looked at it. So I decided to reach out to you guys to see if you guys would be interested in bringing me on and telling my story. So, hey, I thank you for bringing me on.
And quite the interest, and thank you for joining us. And quite the interesting story you have. I was watching a couple of your. You were on the local news about 5 years ago, and I was watching that for a little bit, and I tried to get some information. I wanted to order your book, believe me, and I'm going to, but it's just with my schedule. You just forget, whatever.
Oh, wait a minute, Gooch. I bought his book, and I read it, and I just finished it.
Somebody had to show off.
Yeah. It was an interesting story, man. I read the book and everything, and it's not going to be about your book because I don't want to have no spoilers on it because I want people to buy your book.
Yes.
So I'm going to leave. But there's one question I want to ask you from chapter 4. It kind of intrigued me a lot in chapter 4, but I get to that later.
Okay.
Right? So yeah.
So it might have changed, but I saw the interview you were talking on a news episode. So are your parents still with us?
No. My father died when I was 8. My mother passed away 4 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And you know what's interesting
Sorry to hear that.
is that my mother was born in 1934 and her birthday was June 14th. Now, the reason why I say that is because Donald Trump's birthday is June 14th. And when you look at Donald Trump, and it's just like looking at my mom because they both have that same personality, that same character. It just makes me laugh.
I could answer that. That's a Gemini thing, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I'm a Gemini. I'm born June 16. I just had a birthday just 2 weeks ago. Here's another one, right?
Yeah. Hey, straightforward people, not afraid to cut you and slice you up and throw you out.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
so I take it you're a Trump supporter?
You know what? All my life I've always been a Democrat, but this is to be the first time that I will vote Republican because this country was better off under Trump 4 years ago. And a lot of my siblings has been Democrat, but now they switched over to Republican. I think it's a shift that is happening, and we're going back home where we belongs, and that is to the Republican Party because it's always been about God, family first. So we're coming back home. I can say that right now, and don't be surprised when you see Blacks and Latinos voting for Trump, and at the end they are going to say that it's going to be about 40 to 50% of African Americans and Hispanics and Latinos voting for Trump because 4 years ago it was just better under Trump. The economy was moving, people was working, the government was giving us money. Under Biden, it's a struggle. I see people working 2 jobs. I see some people working 1 job and living in a van, and either you got to pay rent or you're going to be homeless. And so some people made the choice to live in their van or live in their car and just save up their money.
And it's like in the state of California, how do you justify paying $2,100 for a 2-bedroom apartment, and plus you have to pay the outrageous utilities, the water, the light, and whatever else comes with it. It's just crazy. But California's a whole different story. I blame that on Gavin Newsom. But anyways, but you're absolutely right. The Republican Party right now, it is all about love and God, and that's what this country needs.
Yeah,
The,
well, we
the
need to
coun-
get back. We need to
yeah,
get back to the fundamentals of putting God first. And
yeah,
so, I know people talk about, well, Trump is a convicted felon. You know
Mhm.
what? So what?
Yeah,
So
Right.
what?
yeah,
He's better than anybody on the Democratic side. So
right.
what? And here's what's interesting. All right. Now, he's a convicted felon. He has the right to run for president. Now, people should be saying and be outraged and saying, you know what? It's time for us to change the labels on people.
Exactly.
You got some people that are convicted felons and they can't even get a damn job
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they have that label on them.
Exactly. Oh, it'll change. It'll change.
But they can run for president. You see that?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
it'll change definitely. For the audience, Paul Lamar Hunter is the 19th child of 21 siblings.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I couldn't even stand my 3 siblings, let alone another 19.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. My mother birthed 21 children by my dad, 17 of us living today, 63 grandchildren, and 87 great grandchildren. The
Wow.
interesting thing about this story is that my dad was laying the pipe and my mom was getting a delight.
Well, my question automatic, like right off the top of my head when I was listening and reading some of this, is like, how did your parents have time to keep their pants on? because correct me if I'm wrong, your mom was pregnant for 15 years and 19 months total.
Yes, 15 years. My mom stayed pregnant for 15 years. So she won more championships than Bill Russell, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. My mother is my father as well. They are just winners all around. So
Right.
if it wasn't for my mom and dad, I wouldn't be here speaking to you guys today.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I mean, your mom has a book out too, right? Called Love and Charity, right?
Yeah, I have the book right here. Love and Charity, the life story of Louise Hunter in the Love and Charity Homeless Shelter. And it was written by a great man, Dennis J. Woods. You can get this book on Amazon.com and also Barnes & Noble. So go to any bookstore to get this book.
Nice.
There you have it, guys. All your listeners out there, get that book. But you know what? Go ahead, Gooch.
How the thing that, because when I was growing up, I have, of course, Joe. He's my brother, and then I have a sister who is older than me, right? And then we have a younger brother. Okay, so with me growing up, now I'm going to ask you this question too. With me growing up, I learned from my older siblings' mistakes, right? Because back in the day, we either got an ass whooping or we got soap in the mouth. And I wanted neither of them, right?
Yes.
So I learned from, my older brother, Joe, or my sister. I could hear Joe's in the background, getting his mouth washed up with soap, and it sounds like he was drowning. And I'm in the background just saying, what a dumbass. I learned how to stay on track discipline-wise without being spanked or, I mean, occasionally I got an ass whooping, don't get me wrong. But how was it for you with all the siblings? Did you learn from them if they got a whooping, or did your parents whoop, or how was your discipline?
The discipline came from my mom, my dad, and when we did something, mom would discipline us. Growing up, my mom used to use switches to whoop us. Wah, 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 wah. And then after we get a whooping from mom, when dad come home, he will whoop us as well. So mom and dad was very, very hard on us, but I did learn to watch my older siblings,
right?
Because I learned so much about them. That's the reason why today I have never got in trouble with the law. And some of them have got in trouble with the law, and was very hard because my mom and dad never raised us to get in trouble with the law.
Right,
And so
right.
I learned from my older siblings' mistakes and failures.
Okay.
And so that's the reason why I am so much discipline is a part of my life. So much focus and vision is a part of my life. And so I never wanted to get in trouble with the law. Thank God I didn't. I didn't want to do drugs or alcohol or get in trouble, be a part of a gang. I didn't need a gang because I already had a gang with my siblings.
Right. Yeah.
So you're like the first of all of your family, the first child that graduated in college, right? You had a degree and all that stuff. And
I am the first child to graduate from college with a bachelor's degree in business administration from Upper Iowa University in 2012, which was a great school for me. One thing, when you grew up in the hood and you grew up what they call the inner city,
Right.
and you walk into an institution like Upper Iowa University, there's only one direction you can go, and that was up. And I went up,
Right.
and I am continue to go up because after I graduated, my book came out, No Love, No Charity: The Success of the 19th Child. Also, I was profiled in Ebony Magazine twice, Black Enterprise. I had an opportunity to meet Dr. Phil, Vivica A. Fox, because she had a talk show that
she's
was
a love
called
actress.
she had a talk show called Face the Truth. So she brought some of my siblings on, and she also brought me on, and we talked about my mom's book and we talked about my book. And I want to say to your viewers and listeners that my mother's book and my book has both been combined into a screenplay. I signed a deal with Tailflick Pictures 2 years ago.
Well, that's
Now
good.
we in the process of getting all the characters together for the movie, and one day you'll be taking your wives or your girlfriends to go watch the movie.
I was gonna ask you about that. Are they gonna make a film about you guys and I mean about your story and all that stuff? What went on and
Yes, they will make a film of the Hunter family story, and I think it's going to
that's
be a
pretty good.
remarkable story, and it's going to change people's lives because we are a family that that is no different than a family of 2, 3, 4, 5. We all have our struggles because parents are not perfect. I tell people all the time that my mother could not give what she didn't have. So parents are not perfect. They're just
Right.
not perfect at all.
Now, are you shooting for 23 kids yourself, Lamar?
Let me tell you, I have 4 children myself, 2 girls and 2 boys, and I have a granddaughter. And I'm done. I'm 53 years old. I'm done.
Yeah, I was done. I have 7 kids of my own, and after the 7th one, I felt it all in my back, my legs, and I was like, "No, this is it." So I cut the cherry tree down, and so I'm done.
Yeah.
You got to be done at some point.
Yes.
So how was it like? How was it like for your entire family right around Christmas, or did you guys celebrate Christmas? Or
there were times where the community played a significant role in making sure that we had clothes, Christmas gifts, clothes, food in the house. I remember a time on Christmas Eve, an unexpected knock at the door revealed unexpected gifts from ordinary people in our community, and gave us a Christmas tree, brought us over clothes, brought us over toys, brought us over food. And God has always had his hands on our lives, and God has always provided for us when our backs was against the wall. So I really thank the community in the city of Racine, Wisconsin, for coming through for us. It's different being raised in the 60s and the 70s because now we have social media. Now, if my mom would have all these kids now, you'll see an outpour from people from around the world giving to the Hunter family. But we were born in the 60s and 70s, so it was God timing. It wasn't man's timing.
and then throughout your family, right? The immediate family and those siblings, your parents. It was all about God, correct? It was all about
It was all about God. My mother and father on Sundays, they would get up at 6 in the morning. They would have my older siblings up at 6 in the morning because they was preparing them for life, because they say one day you're going to become an adult and one day you're going to have kids. They used to get them up on Saturdays and Sundays and start preparing the meal for us for the day. And so that's what they used to do on Sundays. Up in the morning at 6 o'clock, start preparing the meal at for noon, because at 10 o'clock we were heading over to the church, and after church we would come back home. And when we come back home, the pastor would come over, or the pastor assistant would come over, and they would sit at the table and pray and bless the food. And then we would dig in and eat. And we would just have great, authentic conversations. And so when you look at this society today, no one is sitting at the table having productive conversations, having family conversation. Everybody is just sitting around watching an NFL game or NBA game. We need to get back to the basics of fundamentals, is sitting down, turning the cell phone off, turning the television off, and just eating and having constructive conversations about life.
You are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And us growing up, that's the way it was for us as well. Growing up, we all sat at the table.
Yeah.
Or play outside.
We didn't skip a beat every night. Yeah, play outside
and all that stuff.
We don't see that anymore.
But it was and then to write a letter, we would just write it manually and send it to a person in school. That's what I would do, because I used to love to write. And I would talk to a female. You go, well, write me a letter. So I write her a letter and just send it to her, and then it just travels in school. Like a mail carrier.
Yeah.
But that was the thing. That was our texting.
And another thing, we didn't have microwaves back then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there's one question I want to ask you, like a personal question. In your book, I just want to give one spoiler from your book in chapter 4. How was it like when your brother Timothy forced you to talk to that girl, have sex with that girl? Or if you don't have sex with that girl, he'll beat your ass. How was it like? Tell me that story. I mean, it's really interesting. When I read it, I started laughing, and I go, "Oh my gosh, dude!" I mean,
well, she wasn't a girl. She was 46 years old.
Oh yeah,
and I was 16 years old. So it was interesting. But Timothy was trying to make me a man, and that's what he wanted to do. And growing up, that's the way in the inner city. They say, I gotta make you a man. You got to sleep with this woman. That's how you become a man. So Timothy did his job of introduce me to this woman, and that woman taught me a lot about sex, taught me a lot about character, taught me a lot about a woman's body, and I've been able to use what she gave me to disperse on other women in society.
Right, yeah. That was when I read that. When I read it, I go, "Oh my gosh, dude!" I go, "You literally." I want to ask you, do you really beat you up?
I was so afraid. You got to understand, I was a virgin at that time. Yeah. So he grabbed me, because I was like, "No, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this." And he was like, "If you don't do it, I'm gonna beat your ass." So I went in there out of fear, and I had sex with the woman. And after I had sex with the woman, I went back over there and I had told him. And I remember telling my brother Greg, because my brother Greg had asked me, did I like it? And I said, no, I did not like it, because this stuff came out of my penis and I don't know what it was. And like I said in the book, 2 weeks later, I was laying in the bed and I'm like, man, that was a good feeling. I'm going to go back over there. And then after I got out of school, I went over there and I was smashing her for about a good year or two.
Hold on, Paul. Give me 1 second here, Paul. What the hell is wrong with you, Joseph? Why didn't you do this for me? Why didn't you beat me up? Why didn't you force me? What's going on here?
Maybe because I was shorter.
Childhood is screwed. My childhood is screwed.
Oh my god. Well, you know what? It was the reverse, Gooch. You did it for me because I remember because my brother, the Gooch, will like actually hand me. I think he was more handsome than me because I'm not that handsome and gorgeous like he was when he was young. But he kind of gave me some
I used
here
to
and there.
I used to kick them down. The girls, go, man. Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah,
I was probably one of the biggest womanizers in the family.
yeah,
but that's a whole different topic.
That's another thing. Yeah, but
so getting back to topic, were your parents easy to talk to when you guys had something on your mind? Were you able to go to them? Because our parents, depending on the situation, we couldn't just be like, hey, you know what, Mom, I'm feeling kind of depressed. Those times they'll slap you upside the head, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah. My father was very easy to go to. My mother was very difficult to deal with and to go to. You have to understand that my mother was born in the 1930s, and she experienced a lot of racism, the Jim Crow system, a lot of trauma in her life, running from the KKK. Her cousin at that time that was 12 years old got caught, raped, and lynched, and she got away. And she's witnessed people being killed when she was a young child. And so it just made my mother, in my opinion, very hard toward people. You understand?
Right.
And that's why I tell people that you can't give what you don't have. So
Right.
my mother was never perfect. My father was never perfect, but I think that God put them together for a reason.
Right.
And it was hard on my mother. And so my mother used to always tell us that there are certain things that she can't tell us, that she has to take it to her grave.
And I would totally 100% agree with your mom on that, because there's a lot of things I'm taking to my grave. My kids will not know certain stuff about my life, but I keep reminding them, when I have little hearts to hearts with my kids, right? I got 4 here in the state of Wyoming with me. When I talk to them, I always tell them, and I constantly remind them, you are going to be better than me. There is no other man in this world that's ever going to tell you that, because they'll meet men that's going to outdo them, or try to outdo them, or try to outsmart them, try to do better than. No, I want them to do better than me, their father, because I sometimes work 3 jobs, okay, just to make ends meet. I have I'm a sheetrock installer and a drywall finisher, right? It's the same thing, but I finished drywall. That's what I did on my own. How I made money, how I was able to buy, a home. Now I got a full-time job because I'm just too tired, man. We're tired. We're getting older, and my kids need to understand. They're getting at the age where, one's already, here in Wyoming, one's already, working, and he's doing fine and good. All right. But I want him to progress. I don't want him to stay in that one job. I want him to do 20, 30 years, be ready to retire, call it good. And I keep reminding them, I've been working for 35 years in construction, and like, I'm a late bloomer on buying a house, and I was like, this house is for you guys when I go.
Yeah.
But it's always a constant reminder for me. My kids always have to do better than me, no matter what.
And that's the way I am with my 4 children. But my 4 children has already done way better than me.
That's good.
I am so happy to see them doing better than me, because I always believe that when you have kids, you want them to be better than you. You don't want them to do less than you.
Exactly.
And so they saw how I have worked extremely hard. I talked to my kids about how it was for me growing up, because I want to be transparent. And we never had birthdays in the Hunter family, but my children, my nieces and nephews, they were able to have birthday parties. You understand? And while we were celebrating their birthday parties, we were celebrating ourselves as well.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like one of my kids, the middle child here in Wyoming, he's really good at basketball. Okay, he's really good. You know, if it was me back in the day, all right, if I was really good at basketball, you know, back then in the 80s, my parent will probably be like, you know what, just give up your dream, go work at McDonald's, go make some money, be quiet, leave me alone, whatever. But my son, he's really good at basketball and he wants to do football. And I said, okay, you know, you got to encourage him. He wants to do track. Okay. You know, but I said, I said, listen, I'm all for you doing sports. I get it. You want to learn, you want to participate, but I'm going to tell you right now, you're better at basketball than you'll ever be at football, than you'll ever be in track. Focus on basketball. And he does great. He does freaking tournaments almost every other day here where I'm at, you know, with the local kids and the schools and the reservations. And, you know, I'm glad to see him do that. He's really, really good at it.
And Paul was a coach, a basketball coach, right, Paul?
Oh, was he?
Almost. Yes, I was. And I enjoy coaching inner city kids because those kids that was on my basketball team, 7 of them did not have their fathers in their lives. And I became a substitute father for them. I became a role model for them, even though I was their basketball coach. And those young men today are fathers now. Went to college, graduated college, have careers. Some of them are teachers, principals, engineers. You know, they have their own careers now. And I remember talking to a coach that was on the opposite team, and he called me to tell me that I was one of the best coaches in that league.
Nice.
And I would never imagine a guy that was my adversary will call me and tell me that I was one of the best coaches in that league. And that really, really touched me. It really touched me. And then when I went back home for my mom's funeral, this other coach in the league, he ended up seeing me. He just wanted to let me know that, you know what? He said that when you were coaching and you were going over the fundamentals with the kids and you told them that, hey, I'm going to turn your weakness into your strength. And he said a lot of us thought you were just crazy for teaching them to teach them to dribble with their left hand if they were a right hand person.
Yeah,
he said,
right.
we thought you were just lazy, but when you got up in that, you know, crazy, he said, but when you got up in that tournament, he said, you guys just blew right through everybody, made it to the championship game. And I talk about it in the book because it plays a significant role that it's never too late. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And I remember, you know, right before the game, my superstar said, Coach, we're going to win today. We're going to beat them like we beat them before by 18. And I told him, I said, not today. Lamonte, not today. Today is the day we win by 1, 2, or 3 points. That's it.
That's it.
We got it. We got in that game, that first quarter. They jumped on us by 9 points. It didn't rattle me. Second quarter, we down by 7. The third quarter, we down by 7. The start of the fourth, we down by 7. 2 minutes left in the game. I call a timeout. Your time, your opportunity, your moment. Let's go out and win it. We came back and won the game by 1 point.
Nice.
And that's the message. The message is clear. It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
It's how you finish, exactly.
That's good. And so you have a degree as business, right?
Yeah, I started off at Gateway Technical College, graduated in 2005. I have an associate's in supervisory management, and then went to work for Chrysler. Chrysler decided to shut the plant down, moved to Mexico, and took advantage of the program that they had, and went to Upper Iowa University, graduated in 2012 with a bachelor's of science in business administration. And so that's the reason why I had to lay the foundation, is because I did some research on my mother lineage and also my father's lineage. And what I discovered is some of their relatives and stuff, they went to college, but they never completed college. So I decided, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to complete it. And so I'm the first in the family to graduate from college with a bachelor's of science in business administration. So now, since I laid the foundation, my nieces, my nephews, relatives went back, got their bachelor's degree. Some of them has their master's degree. Some of them have their PhD degree. It's all about laying the foundation. And your listeners and viewers needs to understand that if a guy from the inner city came from a family of 20 siblings, grew up in poverty, can make it, they can make it as well.
There's no excuse. Exactly.
None whatsoever.
Now, I don't know. When I heard this, I don't know. I was kind of blown away. Is it true that a stranger gave your parents a house?
Most definitely. My mother was pregnant with the 14th child, which is my brother Larry. He's a pastor in Memphis, Tennessee. One day, sheriff came knocking on the door, told them that they had 72 hours to vacate because there was too many people living in this home. So my mom and dad went to church that night. The pastor, members there prayed for them. The next day, the man showed up at the door knocking. My mom opened up the door and he came in, talked to my mom and dad, told them about this 18-bedroom house. He took my mom and dad to go see the house. My mom and dad did not have 4 quarters, 100 pennies. The man only wanted $1 for the house. So he went in his wallet and gave my mom the dollar to pay for this house. And it was, that house was a blessing to the Hunter family.
Yeah,
because because we were about to become homeless. So God, like I said, throughout the book, God has always provided for the Hunter family, and he will continue to provide. And so that house was a blessing for the Hunter family.
And it was an 18 bedroom house, correct?
18-bedroom house. So you know where I was born and raised is in Wisconsin. So we have a basement, we have a chimney. It was just a beautiful house.
Nice.
I'm talking about beautiful home. Yeah,
That's amazing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So other than that, Paul, obviously your political views are on point. I mean, we're all seeing what's going on in this country, and it's kind of a horrible deal. A lot of people are struggling. I mean, I'm not married. I'm not worried about any of that, but I do have my kids, and we do great. We're striving, not so much struggling. But how do you feel? Because I've always said it's been over a year now, and I'm thinking it may or may not be a 2024 election. I mean, what's your opinion on that?
Oh, it's going to happen. 2024 will be exciting. Like Cat Williams said, a lot of people were going to get exposed, and it had happened. And so my view on the Democrats is that they are trying to steal this election. Joe Biden was on display, and looking at Joe Biden, it's like looking at a popsicle. And when you have a popsicle, and you say that popsicle is just going to melt away, and that's what he did. He just was a popsicle melting away in front of the world. But here's the thing: what is Russia thinking right now? What is Ukraine and China is thinking right now? Who do they want in leadership in this country? Do they want a strong man like Trump, or do they want a weak man like Biden?
I think they want a weak man like Biden.
Yep. So that's the reason why, that's one of the reasons why that, like I stated earlier, I used to be a Democrat, but this is the first time that I will be voting Republican across the board. And so the inner city people is coming to Donald Trump's aid, because when they started to use other Black men and women to come out and get Donald Trump in the justice system, to weaponize him, to criticize him, to put a label in front of his name, we can relate to that. The Hispanics people can relate to that. The
Mhm.
blacks, the people of color can relate to that. That the criminal justice system is corrupt. So what they did was they just, you know how you tell a dog, get him, and that
Mhm.
dog. And so that's what they did. And they used black people to go after Donald Trump. And we sitting back saying, okay, you want to play these games. If you can come after him, you're coming after us.
Exactly.
And so, you know, we feel Donald Trump pain. We know what he's going through because a lot of us had experienced that, really experienced it. I experienced it myself. Here's a kicker that you guys probably don't even know. Child support is not law. Listen to me. Child support is not law. Child support is voluntary. Now, the federal government outsource it to the state. Whatever state you're in. Like I'm from the state of Wisconsin. They outsource it to the state of Wisconsin. And the state of Wisconsin is supposed to follow federal laws and also follow the child support federal program, because child support is a federal program. It's not a state program. So the governor of the state of Wisconsin, we call him Tony Evil, but his name is Tony Evers. He looks at it and review it. Then the attorney general of that state, which is Josh Kroll, he approves it and signs it. And then he takes that order and he tells his disciples to go out and get these people onto the child support program. So I had my podcast show, Is Child Support Law? Child support is not law. All you have to do is read the case law, Blessy versus Freestone, U.S. versus Stage, We Hunt versus Ledbetter. Those case laws will free you from the child support system. That's the reason why a lot of Latinos and blacks and people of color, they are educated themselves, because we don't believe what they are saying at the top. We don't believe what they are saying at the top. So what it did, it forced us to get in the books and learn for ourselves. And that's the reason why Biden put an executive order on TikTok, because people were sending their message out. It was unfiltered on TikTok.
Right.
So now when you make these videos and you upload it to TikTok, they have to approve it now.
Yeah.
And then if they don't like it, they take it down.
Right. That's true. That's true.
So 2024, yes, I will be voting for Trump. Trump is the better, stronger candidate.
Yes.
Stronger candidate.
Absolutely.
I believe that. You know what? And like 4 years ago, they were like attacking Trump, and they were like, if you ever vote for Trump, you'll get a beat up or a beat down or something like that. Everybody was scared to vote for Trump because they're going to get a beat down.
We talked about it a lot in the past podcast about how all these celebrities, before Donald Trump became president, all these celebrities loved him. Oprah Winfrey, The View loved him before he became president. And now that he's out of office and he became president, they fucking hate him. They hate him.
And you know what he said? Did you see the debate? Did you see the debate when he said
you
that?
know, I did. I did watch the debate, but every time Biden spoke, I went to the restroom. I wasn't interested. What is he gonna say? He's filling the airways full of lies.
But Trump says that, like, he goes like, I mean, I wouldn't be here because we have a bad president. That's why when he wants to become a president.
And that's exactly how this nation should see that. Because if it was anybody else, that man would have gave up. Trump hasn't. After all these indictments and convictions and everything, somebody else, if it was anybody else, they would have gave up.
Yeah, Trump.
That's just the truth.
Trump knows it's a coup, and he knows it's a conspiracy. And I'm gonna tell you something that you guys might not know. Barack Obama is behind this.
Oh, absolutely. He's the puppet master.
He is behind. He is behind it. See, Trump was very smart. He's a very smart, articulate man. Trump was a Democrat, then he was a Republican, he was a Democrat, he was a Republican, but he got all the information that he needed for the last 40 to 50 years. He'd been absorbing all of this information, and he was invited to their kids' recitals, their graduations, their homecoming. And so he was invited into their home. And so those politicians, they'll look at you, oh, that ain't nobody but Trump. We can tell him who we killed. We can tell him how we took money from this corporation. We can tell him that ain't nobody but old Trump. And they just kept talking and talking. And Trump just sitting up there saying, oh, okay, I'm going to keep these receipts. I'm going to keep these receipts, and then I'm going to run. And he did. He picked the perfect time to run because nobody wanted Hillary. Hillary was a part of Bill Clinton, you know? So nobody wanted Hillary. We wanted somebody that was new, exciting, and unfiltered. And like I told you guys, Trump was born on June 14th. He reminds me of my mother. I'm talking about straightforward people.
I think you call it, that's what it's called, superficial.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't like when you just straightforward with them.
Yeah. Yeah,
and that's what made Trump a successful president. He's a businessman. He's not he's a politician now because he has 4 years under his belt. But he's a businessman. He went in, as a businessman, and he took control. And he's right. Russia wouldn't have messed with Ukraine.
No. But you got to remember this also. Remember what they were saying when he first started to run. They said that we were going to go into a war. And never happened. Never happened. So the Democrats are always going to disperse lies out about Trump. And then democracy. I'm going to tell you this. You guys really need to look up that word democracy.
We're not democracy.
We are a republic. This country is a republic. It's not a democracy. So democracy means that the people that you vote for, you let them in to vote, but they don't have to come and tell you anything of what they voting for. Now, under a republic, they will have to come and tell you. They have to come and inform you. And then the people vote. And once the people vote on it, then they take it back to Washington, D.C. and say, hey, this is what the people have voted on. This is what I'm going to vote on. But they don't do that. They saying our democracy is at stake. Who wants somebody to represent them and you giving them all the power? That's what democracy means, that your representatives has all the power to do what they want to do, and you don't have a word to say about it.
Yeah, that's true.
I am so surprised that we haven't had a revolution where we all just take over the government, get everybody out. But you know what? At the same time, I'm not really surprised because we can't get along with each other. We're so fucking divided. We can't get along with each other.
But that's what they want. That's what they want. Now, what really surprises them, remember when Trump, a couple weeks ago, Trump was in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
It surprised them that blacks and whites and Hispanics and Latinos was there for Trump. And then here they go the next day with their excuses. Well, the Trump campaign bust them in. That's a bunch of bull crap.
And the excuses that were being made by the Democrats about Joe Biden on the debate. Oh, he had a cold. He wasn't feeling well. Fucking horseshit. Next day, he's at a rally and he's hollering and doing all of it. Yeah, like what's going on here? Like, but the Democratic Party believes in the lies. They believe and they follow these goons and what they say. They're closed-minded. They're a bunch of followers and not one leader to lead them right.
Yeah, you know what they good at? Gaslighting. They good at gaslighting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
They are subject matter expert when it comes to gaslighting. That's what they good at.
It's like, Trump's the new word now is Trump's a felon. But never mind about Ashley Biden's diary. When it came out, they arrested the girl that stole the diary and did absolutely nothing to Biden because there is no statute of limitation when it comes to rape or sexually assaulting children. And that's exactly what he did in the shower with his then 9-year-old daughter in the shower. You know, and it's just mind-blowing. But Biden's a felon. Trump's a felon. Never mind everything else. He's orange. He's this. He's that, and you know whatever.
Yeah, and it's a shame because they want us to buy into this felon. Felon. We don't care. We want you out of the White House. We want you to say bye-bye. We want you to be in the unemployment line. You are hurting this country. Inflation is up, man. It is destroying. When you can't even go buy a car because it's up by 30 to 40%. You can't even get a home because it's hard on people. That's the reason why we have a lot of homeless men and women. I know people today that are sleeping in their vans, even though they have jobs, but they cannot afford to pay rent. They will rather sleep in their car or in their van than to pay rent.
That's it.
Sure, that's right.
That is just mind blowing. We need to wake up. This country needs to wake up before it's too late.
Yeah. I mean, when I go to the superstore right now, like when I go to Walmart and stuff like that, you know how much I buy a lot of groceries, and now it's like around at least $190 just whatever I want. Back then it was like if I buy a loaf of bread, whatever that's there, I'll be paying at least $50 at the time.
The last week I went and bought bacon. Right, there was like, no, I'm not kidding, guys. There was 8 pieces of bacon for like $7.
Yes.
I was like, well, I may be exaggerating. It's like maybe 12 pieces of bacon, whatever. The point being, like, you used to see a full pack of bacon when you go buy it, right? Now you don't even get half of that. You know?
Yep. Well, they just cutting back, man. And
you get more air on your potato chips than you do the fucking potato chips. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I tell your listeners, your viewers, look at both candidates and look at who's going to benefit you financially. Who's going to benefit you financially? Because they always talk about jobs, but who's going to benefit you financially? Under Trump, we had money coming in. Everybody was just excited. We was working. Money was coming in. Even, companies were giving their employees bonuses and stuff and extra checks. But now it's just hard for people. So I just ask people, hey, evaluate both candidates and see which candidate is going to benefit you on a financial level. Because what they're going to do, they're going to throw out, oh, what about abortion? Let me tell you something about abortion. We all know that it's our own decision, but we have to understand this. When we stand before God, God gave all of us free will. So a woman, that is your body. That is your body. I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you what the Bible says. But you have free will to do that, whatever you want to do. And I'm not going to stop you. So they might be talking about abortion. That right there is just to distract you from the real issue. If you made money under Trump, you should vote for him. That's all I have to say.
On the other news, I heard, I think 2 days ago, I don't know what's Virginia. Now they want to legalize God inside the schools now. They want to put the 10 Commandments in schools already.
What state was that? That was
I think it was
no, it's Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Yeah, Louisiana.
They set up the 10 Commandments in front of the school.
And also it's going to be in the school classrooms. And the Democrats is filing a lawsuit against the governor of Louisiana. So the Democrats, they filed a lawsuit because, you know, they don't want it. They don't want the 10 commandments in the schools. But here's the thing. Under the Democrats, they would rather have a drag queen go into the school to read.
Or satanic worshippers in school.
Yeah. I remember that I tried to reach out to elementary schools so I could go in and read to first graders and second graders. No. Then I found out you got a fucking queer in there reading.
Check this out too. That girl that did that the publicity, the publicity of the Huck Took girl.
Yeah.
She got fired from because she's a teacher from preschool, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it doesn't make sense. Why did they fire her? All she did was and all that. And they fired her, but they could allow a drag queen teaching little kids in schools.
Right.
And plus adding sexual books and in libraries and schools too. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all. And so that's the reason why I tell people all the time that we need to vote Republicans. These Democrats are getting out of hand, my brother. They just getting out of hand.
I think we just need God in our country.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I think, because it was like that way before. So
I don't know if you guys heard, but they're trying to. It's floating around the idea about Joe Biden being replaced, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, just so you guys know, he cannot be replaced under the 25th Amendment. He cannot be replaced unless he resigns or he passes away.
Yeah.
Other than that, he can't. They can't just say, "Well, you got to drop out of the race." And Michelle Obama is going to be the front runner now, or Gavin Newsom's going to. They can't do that.
Oh, pretty boy, Gavin Newsom, the guy with the good hair. That's what they call him.
But see, I think they want to force him to resign so that way he could,
It's a possibility that may happen
because come on,
it's a very strong possibility that he might resign.
Right.
But if he does resign, it's going to be chaos in that party. It's going to be internal fighting in that party. But I can tell you this: if he doesn't resign and he goes on, if I was Trump, I wouldn't debate him the second time, because now he's just been exposed. And what they want to do is give him a shot in his butt of B12 to wake his old ass up. That's what they're going to do. I wouldn't debate him the second time. I would step back and say, no, I don't need to debate him. I'm gonna just take what I have from CNN and I'm gonna use that to promote. Look at this guy, because the guy is clearly unfit. He's really unfit. I felt sorry for him. It's because what I saw in Joe Biden is my mother used to decline that way. And so Joe Biden is declining rapidly, and it's time for him to give it up.
Yep.
And if they do the debate, they might fall deep in this abyss where they'll never recover anymore.
I mean, you know what? I have a strange feeling that the way I saw him in the debate, he didn't look well.
No.
Right? So I have a strange. I think I'm gonna make a prediction on this one. I think before November, I think he's gonna kick the bucket, and then everything's gonna. I think everything's gonna go chaos. Like the way
you better watch what you say there, Joe, because that's the president.
Well, I know that. Well, I know that, but
I mean,
it's just a prediction.
We all can wish. We all can wish.
Hey, and you don't want the Secret Service or the FBI coming knocking at your door
the next day, right?
Open up, we see you.
Oh my gosh! But yeah, I mean, knock out there. Where's Joe at? Where's Joe?
All right, Paul. I really enjoyed this podcast. It's probably been one of the better ones. I really dig your energy, man. And we'll get to. You want to mention your book out one more time for the
title? The title of my book is No Love, No Charity, The Success of the 19th Child. You can get it at Barnes & Nobles, Amazon.com. Also, you can go and pick up my mother's book, Love and Charity, the life story of Louise Hunter in the Love and Charity Homeless Shelter. You can go out and purchase her book. You can also visit my website at paullamarhunter.com. paullamarhunter.com. Hey guys, thank you for having me on. I enjoyed it. We're gonna have to do it again.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Once the movie come out, I'm going back and to the different podcasts that gave me an opportunity, and I'm going to come back on your show, and we're going to be talking about the movie.
You know what? When you get into that star and you start shooting up into the sky, man, with this movie coming out,
yeah,
don't forget us.
All right, I will not, my brothers. I appreciate you guys. And
all I need is your autograph. That's what I need right now. Your autograph.
Okay, I will get it. Send me your address, and I'll send you a new book with my autograph on it.
Copy that. Great book, guys. This is a great book. I just read it. I just don't want to give out the spoilers. It was only chapter 4. It was an interesting book. Then the ending. I mean, you just got to read it. I read the book already. It's real interesting, and it was a good ending. I really liked it. The ending. It was awesome.
Yeah,
congratulations with everything.
Joe was telling me a little bit about the book, and I was like, now I don't even want to buy it.
But congratulations with your total success, Paul. I'm really happy that you're joining us, the Talkers podcast, the Gooch, and I'm speaking on behalf of my other brother Remo and my cousin Benny. He couldn't make it because they're all in the podcast themselves. They're real occupied today, and I really enjoy your warmth, your comfort, and your success is really great. I just hope God bless you and everything. I really appreciate you and all that.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
All right, Paul. That's Paul, guys. This is Paul. Thank you, Paul. Great guy.
That was a great show, man.
Yes.
I dug his energy, man. He's got a lot of energy, really positive energy, considering.
Yes. Yes. I was gonna talk about the Mandela effect. If you believe in that theory, the conspiracy theory.
Oh, okay.
But there was one that I was telling you earlier, Gooch, that I spot another one.
Oh yeah.
And people didn't know. And and I used to see this movie. Well, I haven't seen the movie. It's with Paul Rodriguez.
Let me guess, 1 in a million.
Yes. Okay. But when I was a kid, when this movie came out, I was probably like 15, maybe 18. I noticed it was always one, Jaun, right?
Jaun.
Yeah, but now I see it. Oh, wait, hold on. I got the wrong one. It's 1 million to 1.
No shit.
You saw that shit? The thing is, I don't understand. Is it a English one?
No.
Or the one is the Spanish one?
No, there was no 2 movies of it. There was.
But I always remember that million to 1 was this. 1
in a
million to 1. It was always million to 1. But now that's what I'm trying to talk about with the Mandela effect. That's going on. So I found this really interesting. So what do you think of it?
No, it was always a million to 1.
It was always this one, right?
Yeah, because I remember me and Mom watched it. She took me to the theaters to watch it because she loved Paul Rodriguez at the time. And it's always been a million to 1. Jaun, not 1.
It was never million to 1. I mean, number 1, shit like that. But that's what I found it kind of interesting. Like, what the heck? It's another Mandela effect right there,
Yeah.
But
I got a Mandela effect happening in my pants right now.
Jeez.
No, it was a really interesting it's just a show, man. Paul.
His book is really awesome, man. I just finished it, and like I said again, guys, it's a great book, and at the end, you'll trip out. So it's kind of like interesting, So real good book.
Great show.
I bought it on Amazon Prime. You could get it from Amazon for $20. You could always get it in an electronic book too. and you go get in Barrels and Nobles and all that stuff, and right there, Paul Lamar
Awesome,
Hunter,
awesome.
well, great guy, and yeah, he had a lot of energy, dude. He was very good.
Yeah, really good and positive energy, man. Considering.
Yeah. All
right, guys, I think we are
it. Thank you, Gooch.
No problem there
for
Dickie
joining
D.
in too. So, and one more thing, guys. If you guys want to subscribe to our podcast, $3 a month. You could cancel anytime. The ones you could subscribe for $3 a month is the ones on my solo shots. Those are just me. The rest of us with the Talkers podcast with the gang, me, Benny, and the Gooch and Remo. It's all free. You can support our show $3, and you can support us if you want. But go to thetalkers.buzzsprout.com, or you could Google us, and we're the only talkers there. So you'll see the link, thetalkers.buzzsprout.com, and the link is safe. Don't worry about anything touching it or anything like that. So the link is safe, guys. If you guys want to support our show and download, guys, please, guys. This is the Talkers Podcast Unscripted. My name is Joe, and we got the Gooch.
The Gooch. Yes.
The Gooch himself, guys. And if you guys want to email us, thetalkersforusa@gmail.com. What about you, Gooch?
Remember, guys, don't drink and drive. Walk, take a cab, Uber, do anything but drink and drive. If you guys want to reach out to the Gooch, it's TheeGooch76
There you go, guys. There you have it. Paul Lamar Hunter, guys. Thank you, Paul, very much. See you guys.